What's up, everybody? Back at it, the Big Two View, nonstop, every day we're working. We got our newest artist all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Illa, go ahead and give yourself a proper introduction. What's up, big dog?
What's good with it too? I'm just chilling here from San Antonio. I got a lot of stuff on the way. Stay tuned for the next album coming out, but I just dropped the album a few weeks ago called Papes Single Wide, and that's the first of a three-part series, so stay on the lookout for that. So that's what I got going on right now. I'm just chilling, coasting, and it's good to see that you homie too got everything up and running here with the Big Two management, and I'm just excited for the next moves to come.
Thanks. My boy been watching me grind for a long time, so as much as I support you, you support me, and I respect that. So thank you, sir. We'll get right into this interview. And my first question I want to ask, after looking more into you, I know about you, but obviously some other people may not, but inspirations such as Eminem, 50 Cent, Chameleonaire, Kid Cudi, these are influences behind the music that you create. Can you give us a little explanation behind these people and why they influence you?
Oh, definitely. So basically, those are artists that have played a part in my life in different stages in my life. So whenever I was younger, I was first listening to rap music, and when I got put on to Eminem and Snoop and the older school rappers that really on the real hip hop type of stuff, and that was my roots. That's where I really came up from, and that's what established my foundation. And then from there, I discovered artists. Of course, Chameleon is one of those artists as well. One of my all-time favorites. And then, of course, I discovered artists like Wiz Khalifa and Kid Cudi from there that really helped shape my versatility as an artist and made me want to go outside of just rapping and more experimenting with vocals and melodies and things of that nature. So that formed everything into what it is now, which is Illa. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And looking back onto your earlier days, you've got mixtapes back in fourth and fifth grade.
Well, I didn't see per se mixtapes. I wasn't rapping on them. When I say mixtapes, I was actually making my own little mixtapes off of the radio. I had like a little Walkman. I was in elementary school, and I just was first getting into rap music, and I was just so intrigued by everything. But I hated the commercials on the radio. So what I'd do is I'd make my own little mixtapes, and I would cut out the commercials. I would record them shits on the tapes in the Walkman and shit, and I would have my own mixtapes where it was no commercials. I had 98.5 to beat streaming before it was streaming and shit.
Nice. So when you say mixtape, it's got these artists that helped influence and shape your career, such as Chameleonaire and people like that.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then Ludacris was another one too. He was in heavy rotation and shit too.
Jamming these mixtapes help as you learn more and grow more about who Illa is. This helped by jamming mixtapes.
Definitely. I was making my own custom ones before I knew about Dat Piff and live mixtapes. I was my own mixtape maker. I was putting all the music together on the tapes and shit, old school. That was the roots. That was the foundation right there.
So you've been a part of the industry now, whether it's local or going to other cities and states doing music for about 10 plus years. How do you feel that your music's evolved from the start to now?
Oh, it's like night and day. I'll go back and I'll listen to some of my stuff back years ago when I first started, and it's a direct reflection of my influences in music, as we had mentioned earlier, with starting out being more like roots hip hop, Eminem, 50 Cent, Bone Thugs, all of them artists that are very lyrical and true to straight up hip hop. It started on that tip, and then as I grew into myself as an artist, I found that, well, I can do more than just rap. I can play with the melodies a little bit, and Wiz kind of inspired me with that a lot. Wiz and Kid Cudi, like two main ones that inspired me with that a lot. Just experiment with the vocals, and now as an artist, I feel like I'm a lot more all around shaped as an artist, and I'm ready to just be 10 toes down with it, and it's full steam ahead from here, and it's only one way, and that's up.
Facts. So how would you define your style then?
My style is, I would say, melodic stoner rap. You know what I'm saying? And one of my songs just wants to play for y'all.
Right? So that brings me to our next question, actually. That is an unreleased track that is not out yet, but I am curious about your most recent single, Sure. What's the inspiration behind that track?
So the inspiration behind Sure is I was going through a time in my life where there was people coming and going, and I was dealing with some little relationship issues and stuff. Everybody's been there. And that was sort of the motivation for that song, because I was just on my subject matter of, do you even know who you are? You know what I'm saying? When you're talking to a female for the first time, you want to know who they are, but it's like, do they really know who they are? You know what I'm saying? So like, Sure came to my mind as just a key word that's just like, are you sure? And then everybody was using that word demure. So I was like, is you for sure? Is you demure? You insecure? Because a lot of women don't even know themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking you because I need to know you, what you finna be about. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through some stuff. And this motivated me to make a song and come interviewing the next one. You know what I'm saying? I need to know so that it won't end up the way that it was before and shit. And I even literally say that in the song. So that was my motivation for that song. The crazy thing about that song is how it came together. I wasn't even planning on making that song. Shout out to my producer Zamala back in San Antonio. I was chilling in my studio spot. We work in the same building, but we have two different studio spots right next door to each other and shit. So every now and then I'll be hearing some stuff that he's got going on and you just jump in there and start freestyling or whatever. But I heard him playing this beat and I was like, damn, that beat goes hard. And I didn't even say nothing to him. I was just in my head. I just started coming up with the hook. Are you for sure? Is you Demir? And I was like, you know what? Let me go in there and see who took this beat because this beat goes hard. I know somebody's got this beat. So I went into his little office or into his studio spot in the office and I said, yo, bro, that beat's hard. What did you make it for? It was on that beat. He's like, oh, this one right here. And he plays it again. And I'm like, that one right there. He's like, oh, I just made it right now. Hey, bro, I got a song for that shit right now. So I wasn't even planning on recording that day, bro. That's the crazy part about it. I was in between. I just happened to be close to the studio. I just got some lunch. I was like, stop by the studio and I'm going to jam some stuff real quick, eat my lunch real quick. And he just so happened to be playing that beat. And I just so happened to be going through that point in my life. And the hook just came to me like that. And I just went in there, recorded it, came back in a couple weeks, later the verses. It's all history from there.
Just like that, a hit was made. So that brings me to my next question. You mentioned a producer. Are there any artists or producers that you're currently collaborating with and or looking forward to working with in the future?
Definitely. So I got, of course, my producer Zamala back in San Antonio. Shout out Zamala. I've been working with him for years on and off. My producer Auxiliary out in San Antonio. Always working with him and looking forward to keeping on working with him as well. But who I look forward to working with in the future and someone that I've really wanted to work with for a long time was Devin the Dude. I'd actually opened up for him a while back and I had taken a little break from doing shows and things like that. But now that I'm getting back on it, I'm really trying to maybe reach out to him and get a good little stoner anthem going or something. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got the connects on Devin the Dude, telling him.
That boy Big2 plugged to everybody. So I'll call Devin after we finish this interview. No problem. That happened easy. So I'm curious. I know that you use DistroKid. So obviously you're an independent artist. I just want to know, what challenges have you faced as an independent artist and how have you overcame them?
Well, the biggest challenge I faced when I first started out as an independent artist was just really budgeting to where I could do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. Because, of course, with this rap game, with this music industry, not just rap, just music in general, it's an expensive game. You know what I'm saying? So unless you got knowledge or unless you learn some stuff and you shortcut around that sometimes, that's what I was able to do at first. So I taught myself how to record and mix my own stuff. I taught myself how to produce a little bit here and there. And now I have multiple tracks out that were recorded and mixed by me, as well as some that I produced as well. And now I'm able to assist producers in producing for me rather than it being like a business transaction all the time. I'm more of an asset rather than just a business partner. So I feel like that's really helped me get around that obstacle. Just finding the knowledge and always trying to learn something new really helps you get around those obstacles quite a bit.
Definitely. So being involved in the music, beyond music, you have merch of your own, you have your website, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's something that is often missed, understanding the business side. So could you just tell us a little bit more about your business ventures mixed in with this music and how they have helped you or maybe showed and taught you some things?
Definitely, great question. So basically, I wasn't even in the mind state of becoming a clothing designer or a brand when I first got into music. It was just the roots. It was just I love to rap and I had a way with words, and it eventually expanded from there because once you get your foot in, you start to realize, well, this stuff costs a lot of money, and for it to cost less money, you got to learn how to do a lot of this stuff yourself. So that's kind of where that started off too. I was like, man, I ain't gonna go pay someone to make my clothes when I got. And shout out my homie Gilly back in San Antonio too. That's my business partner that is at the studio with me, and he put me on to making my own clothing. He introduced me to heat pressing, and then from there we got an embroidery machine, and now we got a screen printing as well. So that kind of just really motivated me to start doing my own stuff because it's like I have all the tools, so why not? So I'm gonna figure out how to do some of that stuff too. And then ironically, not long after I learned how to start doing that stuff, I was invited on tour with my homie J-Rod the Problem from Arizona. Shout out J-Rod the Problem. And he took me on a multi-city tour that spanned across 4 different states in a matter of 2.5 weeks. And before I went out there, due to me having that knowledge and being familiar with the equipment on how to make the clothing, I was able to press up a whole bunch of merch to take on the tour with me. And where most artists would have been struggling to maintain because you're paying for gas and stuff like that, and you just food every day, and you get them different places, things are different prices. That stuff kind of adds up. But when you have merch to sell, and I was profitable on the tour, whereas a lot of artists would have just been making it if they didn't bring no merch out there. So one thing I could say for young aspiring artists, definitely get up on the merch game, because that's key when you're going on tour. And that right there made the difference between that tour being a problem and being a wonderful experience. Because if I would have went on that tour with no merch, that shit might have been a problem. Since I went out there with merch and I had something to build my brand off of and also put money in my pocket at the same time, it made it to where I was really able to enjoy myself without really having to stress about nothing, because I was killing two birds with one stone. Not only was I making some money, I was out there pushing my name and pushing my brand. And to this day, I have a lot of listeners from all those states that we hit, and solid listeners and people that are always going to listen. I appreciate y'all. Shout out Nevada, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico. Shout out all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all love.
Touching different cities and states, very important. And you said it real well. The hand-to-hand transactions is very important. It's often forgotten about, which brings me to my next question. Social media has taken over. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. All these different platforms are available. So I just want to know, how do you see the current state of the industry, and where do you feel that it's headed?
That's a great question, and I pay attention every day to things that are going on in the industry in terms of the streaming platforms and the labels and things of that nature. There's an A&R that I'm tapped into pretty heavy on Instagram. He goes by Demisa, or Miza. I'm not sure how you say it, but he's a legend in the A&R game, basically. He's brought people together, like Snoop and Dre brought them back together after they was apart for a while, and after he brought them together, they discovered Eminem. So this dude's really big in the game, and I've been watching a lot of his stuff on Instagram, and he's always putting people on to new stuff happening in the industry. And based off of all of the things that I've been seeing, it's really geared towards the independent artists really coming up and really making some ground. And I'm really excited about that, because people are starting to wake up to all of these streaming platforms and the fact that they don't really do the best job of paying independent artists what we're owed for the footwork that we put in to make these things come to life. So I'm really excited about the state of the game right now, because I feel like everyone's really starting to wake up and people are starting to make their own platforms. People are starting to be more independent, and that's going to put pressure on the big guns like Spotify and YouTube and all these major entities to start paying artists more, because once we start stepping away and using our own platforms, then they're going to have to move accordingly at that point. So I love where the game's headed right now. It's a big win for independent artists.
Definitely. So I'm here with my last question to sum it up for us. What can fans expect from Illa in the next coming months? Do you have any upcoming projects, any performances, new merch? Just you update us on what's coming basically for the rest of 2025?
Yes, definitely. So I'm excited to announce that this is an official announcement. I ain't told nobody about this yet. So I've got a multi-city tour coming up in Texas, leading up to a tour that I'm going to jump on with the homie Two Stone with Riff Raff. And that's going to be in Carolinas, you know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be posting more stuff about that coming up here in the next few weeks leading up to it. You could catch me on the Texas tour leading up to the Carolinas tour. I'm going to be out there in Waco. I'm going to be in Austin, of course, back home in San Antonio, and everywhere in between, basically. So you be on the lookout for the information on that. I'll be posting more as it becomes available. And full steam ahead. Only one way up, and only one way, and that's up.
That's right, man. So once again, this is the Big Two View. We got my guy Illa all the way from San Antonio. Y'all heard it here first. It's looking like April and May. You're going to be in Texas all over, the Carolinas all over, on tour, doing a whole lot of hustling and no type of hating. So I really appreciate you for rocking with me since day one. Thanks for coming to spend some time over here to do the mic drop interview. Everything else, we're getting locked in. I'm looking forward to doing great business in the future with you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Two Stone, you already know what it is. And then I just want to let my fans know real quick, if y'all want to check me out on my website, get this QR code right here real quick, and just make sure you screenshot that. And if you're on your cell phone right now, screenshot that, and you go to your photos and you tap on it. It'll take you right to my website. You can find all my music, all my content right there. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Another Big Two View wrapped up.